Hello there, Canada. Welcome to season 3, episode 2 of the A Travel Talk Show. We are back in the hot seat, broadcasting live from our virtual studio here in backcountry Canada. Every Wednesday, I am so fortunate to sit down with our wonderful, knowledgeable, and experienced co hosts. We beam our show down to Facebook, to Twitter, to YouTube from our duct tape satellite hovering over the beautiful northern lights of Canada. This is a true north, strong and free live broadcast, and it brings me such pleasure. Feel free to participate, comment, say hi, ask questions in the chat. We hope to share a lot of that live. And tonight we are very special because we have a special guest. But first, maybe you want to know who I am. My name is Greg Girard. I am half of the Brothers of Tourism from the A Canada Market Group. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about paddling on the French River in Ontario, Canada. And we have a bucket list adventure destination calling, get this, climbing the crack in the Killarney Provincial Park, Ontario, Canada. And my co host today is all the way from Ontario, Canada, the great, the wonderful Lisa Muldoon. Lisa, thank you for joining us tonight on the Experience Ontario segment of the A Travel Talk Show. Glad to hear you're here. Let's hear her. Who is this Lisa Muldoon?
Well, first of all, thanks so much, Greg. I'm excited to be here and I'm excited to share about some adventures in Ontario. Thanks for having me. As Greg said, my name is Lisa Muldoon. I'm a part of the Canada Adventure Seekers, and I grew up in Kingsville, Ontario, sort of near the Jack Miner Bird Sanctuary, which I'll probably be sharing more about in future months, and quite close to Point Pelee National Park, sort of our southern tip of Canada. Again, lots of adventures to share from there. I currently live in Hamilton, Ontario, which has, interestingly enough, been called the waterfall capital of the world. With more than 100 waterfalls, it has the highest number of waterfalls of any urban area its size. So that's kind of
Wow.
their claim. Hamilton is close to Toronto and Niagara area, and it brings me just a little bit closer to the Muskokas and the Northern Ontario area.
Wow. Hey, isn't Kingston home of to Don Cherry?
Well, possibly. Now I'm actually Kingsville, which is very close to
Oh,
Kingston.
see, that's
Kingston
what
is sort of by
happens when you get
Ottawa.
older. That's
So
what
no,
happens when you
no,
get
that's okay.
older.
People make that
Yeah.
mistake or mix that up all the time.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Perfect. Hey, so you know what? I think this Lisa Muldoon is going to have a great following us because she's going to be joining us every single month to talk Ontario. And what I've done to make it real easy for all you Canadianites and international nights is that you can go and follow Lisa. I put a link in the chat. Please click on it. Maybe not now because I want your attention and Lisa wants your attention. But hey, after the show, I would encourage you to click on the link that we supplied there. Check out Lisa Muldoon's adventures. It is impressive. There's paddling, there's hiking, there's a whole bunch. There's some sailing. She's been all over the place. If you want to learn a little bit about Canadiana, Lisa's your girl, and make sure you click on that link. So, Lisa, in Canada, canoeing has long been associated with the Indigenous people, the fur trade, and then the voyageur. The Algonquin Indigenous people have traditionally occupied parts of Western Canada, Western Quebec, and Ontario, I believe. And it's located, they've been about, from what I've researched, they used to hunker down around the Ottawa River and its tributaries when they were going from their summer village to their winter village. I believe, and I hope if I'm wrong, everyone floods me with comments, but the Algonquin were the most closely associated with the style of birch bark canoe familiar today. And this is an opportunity, and what a segue into your paddling adventure on the French River canoe with a canoe. So why don't you please tell us a little bit about that adventure?
Sure. I was going to say I'm learning lots from your little intro as well. That was great. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Well, recently we went on a canoe trip, as Greg has mentioned, on the French River. And it's a river that connects Nipissing to Georgian Bay. And
Okay.
interestingly enough, the French River was designated as a heritage river in 1986.
Did
So
not know that.
fairly recently.
Yeah.
It's also considered another fact that I found. It's considered the dividing line between Northern Ontario and Southern Ontario. So, as part of our trip, we canoed a loop starting in Hartley Bay, and I'll be showing you some pictures of this after, making our way through the old Voyageur Channel um, to Georgian Bay, and then paying a visit to Bat Bay and Devil's Door Rapids. And then we took the French River main outlet back to Hartley Bay, sort of making that loop. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things you'd asked about was wildlife. And I mean, we saw lots of different things. Of course, lots of people are fishing and different things like that. One memorable find was a bald eagle. And it was a rainy day, and he was sitting on a rock, and he just looked waterlogged and grumpy.
Yeah.
He looked about as happy to be in the rain as we were. But the other thing is, although we didn't see it on this trip, this area is also home to the only venomous snake in Ontario. It's the Massasauga rattler. And I have been on trips before where we did see them. We didn't see them this time. So it's the kind of thing that you kind of have to be careful and tread lightly as you're walking and listen
No
to that
doubt.
rattle.
Yep. Yep. No doubt. I believe we actually have a clip here, don't we? Hold on. I'm just going to check in
Yes.
with the front office here. Hold on.
Perfect.
Yeah, they're saying it's all lined up. They said, okay, we're good to go live. So I'm going to play this video, and me and Lisa will be chatting about it as we play. So here we go. French River canoeing.
Perfect. Thanks. So you can see we've camped on the rocks. We had
Yeah.
to kind of hold them down with rocks because there's no tent pegs. We're in this looks like Bat Bay in here.
What's up with the sail?
Well, if it's windy and you don't have to paddle, makes it fun. This one's Bat Bay as well.
Is that you going down the rapid?
It's not, no.
You got quite
Finding
the
a bit of
gang
shelter
there,
in the
eh?
rain.
Yeah. Oh, can't go anywhere
Of
without
course,
a campfire.
we've got a stove and cooking some scones and ending
What
our
was
night
that
with
on the fire?
campfires.
What were you cooking on the fire?
It was a sort of scones. We sort of
Oh,
putting that
really?
in sort of a little oven sort of beside the fire.
And you're
Um,
really going to impress me now saying you got all your ingredients from the land, right?
yeah, no. We brought our ingredients with us. We actually eat pretty well on our canoe trips. So,
Yeah, it's funny how you do eat well when you're camping, eh?
mhm.
Yeah,
And
I
it always
find that
tastes
too.
better too, right?
It
I don't
does
know.
taste
I
better.
find
It
that.
sure does taste better. So that was our French River canoe trip with Canada Adventure Seeker Lisa Muldoon. And please, if you have any comments, if you've done the French River, well, we shouldn't be
Mm.
shy. Should be sharing with us your experiences on it. By all means, feel free to comment, chat, and say whatever feels within reason in our chat. And we were more than happy. We'd be glad to share them. So, Lisa, recently, and I was just, we're starting to get to know. We've got to know each other for quite some time now. I've become very familiar with your adventures. I read every one of them. You've gone all over the map. You went from like pickleball to birding at Big Creek National Wildlife Area to Port Rowan, Ontario. You attended a super crawl in Hamilton, Ontario. You hiked Long Point, and we did that one. I really liked Long Point.
Mhm.
And you went to Red Hill Valley Trail bike rides. So you've been showing off some biking skills, and it it all comes together because during all of this, you must have grown some hungriness or something because you threw in your dining experience at starving artist waffles, which when I read that, I almost fell out of my chair. I thought, what a great name. This is just a small fraction of your adventures. And again, check out Lisa's profile and you'll see her videos and her photos. But there's one adventure I think is worthy because now we're going to talk in our segment here is about your bucket list item, something
Mhm.
that people should not miss when they're a certain area of Ontario. And we all have them. There's things that we've done that we said, if you're here, man, don't miss this trip. And the one that you came up with was climbing the crack at Killarney Provincial Park, Ontario, Canada. Maybe you can tell us a little
Mhm.
bit about what this is all about.
Sure. And you know what, Greg? It was really hard to decide. I know when you're listing off all of those adventures, I'm thinking, goodness, it's hard to keep up sometimes to
Yeah.
get some of that content out there. But this hike, and the reason I chose it, it's actually said in some of my research to be one of the top hikes in Ontario. It's not to be missed.
Wow.
It's actually part of a longer 78-kilometer La Cloche silhouette trail.
Okay.
And the Ontario Parks website, when I was doing a bit of research on it, states that given its rugged terrain, its long distance, and steep incline, this is Killarney's toughest trail and one of the most challenging hikes in the province. I'm not sure about that, but
Yeah.
perspective, I suppose. But again, like any trail, proper preparation and planning is very important before attempting something like this. And they outline that on their website and the signs in the area because that's pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of the things about this climb is at the top of the climb, you were treated to amazing views over the La Cloche mountain range. And if you're from Ontario, you'll understand that we don't really have very many mountains here. So that's pretty special.
Shh, that's our secret. That's our secret.
Okay, well, you know that. So,
Yep.
and it's interesting because the actual crack where the rock splits, it forms sort of a sidewall and the trail goes right through. And this part you'll see in the video when we share it is the most challenging because you're required to climb and scramble all over sort of these uneven, sometimes loose, sometimes sharp boulders and rocks.
Okay.
But again, once you get to the top, in addition to the La Cloche mountain range, the crack provides visitors with panoramic views of inland lakes and ridges just along the coastline of Georgian Bay. So it's
Okay.
it's very beautiful. Can we take a look at the journey uh, through
You
the
know
crack?
what? Our producers are on it, and they're talking to me from their ivory tower, and they're saying, let's show this amazing adventure. So they're gonna fly it on, and here we go. We'll talk
Perfect.
through it and take a look.
All right.
Enjoy.
Thanks. You can see it starts through a dense forest and then quickly moves to some steep rocks and uneven terrain through climbing.
Mm-hmm.
Following the markers, you can see them.
Was those markers or balloons?
They were markers. They're
Okay.
markers. And this is our view from the top. There's your La Cloche mountain range in the back.
Yeah.
Big smiles for being at the top here.
That's quite the view, eh?
And it opens right up. It opens right up. So it's really
That's
nice.
gorgeous.
And then, of
there
course,
it
climbing
is.
out and through, and then walking back through the forest. It's sort of it's not a loop, so it's a linear trail. You go in and out the same way that you come. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of a neat thing.
Did you, and excuse me if I missed it, but I want to make
Oh, no.
everyone clear. Is that a 6 kilometer in, 6 out, right? Or is it 6 total?
I actually think it's 6 round trip.
Okay.
So, yeah, so it's not super long for the
Yeah.
views that you're getting. And I mean, there's some rugged terrain. They make that very clear, and of course, making sure you have water in that. But
Yep.
it's not a long one for what you're. We had. I think at that point we had come off a canoe trip and decided, oh, we'll stop at Killarney and do a little
Nice.
walk. So
Yeah.
putting a few hours into it, but it was
Yeah.
good.
So would kids be able to enjoy this? Would
Yeah,
kids be?
absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, again, on the website, you just make sure you know your kid's ability level, and even pets and dogs are allowed. Again, they said just make sure you,
Yeah.
'cause if they're not making it, you're carrying them. So
Yeah.
I guess that's the
Yeah.
same with the kids as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's certainly something that's accessible and
And here's
mhm.
a big point I think you hit on is make sure you have the right gear, because I don't know about you, but I have seen umpteen amount of people hike tough trails in flip-flops, and I have no idea what they're thinking.
Flip flops and Crocs and
Yeah,
sandals. Yeah,
like
seen it all.
they're asking to meet search and rescue. That's what they're doing. They're asking to meet search and rescue, right?
Yep.
Lisa, that was phenomenal. I really enjoyed the views there. I'm a big what do you call it? Elevation hiker. I like those ones that give you something. The reward at the top is
Mhm.
phenomenal views. I'm really into those. I love those. So, Lisa,
Mhm.
we've covered a French River canoe trip. We've also covered Killarney Provincial Park. So, is there anything you would like to share with our viewers before we let you go?
Yes. Come visit Ontario. We have some
Woo!
amazing places, we have some amazing spaces, and the one that stands out for me the most is the natural beauty of our province. So, stunning landscapes, pristine lakes. We've got the Great Lakes, and of course, we've got Niagara Falls.
Mm-hmm.
But we also can't forget about the outdoor activities. We have historic sites, we have festivals and events and wildlife viewing and all sorts of things. And I think if I can leave you with one thing, it's the slogan displayed on our license plates, and it says, Ontario, yours to discover.
Oh, that was a great closing. I got to admit, that was awesome. I don't even know if I should say anything to finish the show. You just did it
Those
for me.
aren't my words. They're on the license plate. I didn't
There
make
you
it
go.
up.
There you go. So you can follow Lisa and other Canada adventure seekers in real time as they explore Canada on our live travel talk community. I posted the link in the chat again. Please feel free to browse, say hi to seekers and comments and ever so that forth, and check out Lisa's adventures. Thank you, Lisa, so much for sitting in as co-host this week and sharing with us your paddle and your climbing skills. I always do when we first met. You had a little bit of duck and mountain goat in you, and now that pretty much shows that you do with the climbing and the paddling.
Oh.
Lisa will be back in a month's time exactly, and to
Mhm.
talk about Ontario adventures again. She's our co-host every once a week, every month, and
Mhm.
we are Canada's show of bumps and bruises, and we'll throw in a smile every single time, no matter what weather. We enjoy the outdoors. We encourage everybody who visits Canada to take the time to discover what we have here and we cherish here, and all of us here as seekers enjoy as much as we can. So, thank you to our viewers for tuning in tonight. Please share this broadcast. Please be Canadian. Do your thank you, sorry, and pleases, and do what you need to do to support boots on the ground, real people doing real things in real time. And remember, you are what you listen to. So join us next week, Wednesday, October 18th at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 6 p.m. Pacific, when Influencer of the Year, Canada Adventure Seeker Andrea Horning will be joining us to share tips, bucket list hacks about Alberta, Canada travel and adventures. See you next week, Canada, and may the maple leaf be with you. Peace out. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Excellent.